already turned 20, but I still can't forget those terrifying events from 5 years ago. It happened in the ninth grade, right at the beginning of the school year. Our math teacher was talking about the upcoming summer exams when she was abruptly interrupted by the principal, who entered the classroom in the middle of the lesson. The class stood up together and greeted Viktor Evgenievich. He smiled and told him to sit down. "Hello, everyone. I have a brief announcement. You have a new student joining your class. His name is Misha. I hope you get along. That's all. I won't distract you any longer." The principal left the classroom, and the new student took his place near the blackboard. He was quite stocky and at least 2 meters tall. The guy had a good-natured smile on his face, a friendly and open gaze, and overall, the new guy was very charismatic. The girls sighed adoringly, and the boys looked at the newcomer appraisingly. After a brief greeting, the teacher asked Misha to sit in the empty seat next to me. I never liked sitting with someone, but for some reason I decided to make an exception. As soon as the guy sat down, I started bombarding him with questions. It was convenient to talk at the back desk where no one notices you. Right after the bell rang for break, my childhood best friends came up to us. We always hung out together and even wanted to go to the same college. "Hey Mishan, so shall we get acquainted?" "I'm Viska, this is Kolya, and you already know Dima. You were chatting so lively," Vidyok said first, grinning foolishly. "Oh, the local clown showed up," I said sarcastically, rolling my eyes, and then added, "Don't mind him, Mish. You'll get used to this idiot." "Yeah, I don't doubt it, guys," our new classmate replied. After that, the four of us left the classroom and headed to wander around the school. Our group chatted throughout the break, and even during the remaining lessons, we whispered to each other, which resulted in me and my friends being periodically kicked out into the hallway. After the school day, Misha decided to join us. We popped into a store, bought some small things, and headed to the schoolyard, laughter never ceasing in the group. At some point, the new guy suddenly turned to us and said, "Listen, I just remembered something. My parents are on vacation for a week, and tomorrow is Saturday. Maybe we can have a bachelor party at my place. There's a bar with expensive alcohol, lots of snacks, and other stuff." Misha emphasized the last words with a special intonation, as if knowing what could hook us. I hesitated for a few seconds. The thing is, my parents are strict and even reluctant to let me sleep over at friends' houses, but the guys were so happy at the mention of alcohol that it was a sin for me to refuse. Having set the date and time, we guys went our separate ways home. Of course, there was no talk of any lessons. Everyone was looking forward to a cool party. And finally, Saturday evening arrived. I quickly grabbed my pre-packed things and ran to the bus stop, where my friends were already waiting for me. Soon we piled into a small Paz bus, the kind usually used by people living Kurdish. We reached our destination in about 20 minutes. After receiving payment, the driver dropped us off at a bus stop in the middle of some field, then stepped on the gas and the bus disappeared from sight. "So where to now? I don't see any houses here," I said, lazily surveying the surrounding area. "Don't worry, bro. I got this. Mishanya sent me the geolocation yesterday. We'll be there soon." Vitya took on the role of guide and, opening the map on his phone, led our group along a route known only to him. We walked carefully, one after the other. It felt like at least an hour had passed when, behind another grove, Misha's house finally appeared. To say we were shocked at the sight of this building would be an understatement. A huge 3-story mansion loomed behind a blackened and slightly rusty fence. Overall, the house looked neglected. The paint was peeling on the walls, the window frames had dried out with time, and the yard had turned from a beautiful flower garden into an unmown meadow. Apparently, a family of aristocrats once lived here who had their own servants and much more. When we and the guys passed through the open gate and approached the porch, we saw a dilapidated wooden door. It felt like this wasn't the house Misha had told us about, although the address on the sign nailed to the fence refuted my doubts, and that only made me feel more anxious. Vitya broke the silence first. "What the hell is this? Is he messing with us? Or does he really live in such a dump? Listen, why blame the guy because his parents don't have much money? Be glad we were even invited," Kolyan defended our new classmate. He was serious and slightly frowned, as he understood poverty well. Okay, that's enough whining. Let's just go in already. I went up the steps, approached the doorbell, and pressed it. After the characteristic sound, approaching footsteps were heard, and after a few seconds, the door creaked open. Misha stood on the threshold, smiling cheerfully and holding his hands behind his back. "Welcome to the party, gentlemen. Go up to the second floor. Go right. That's where my room is, and I'll bring the alcohol and snacks." With that, the host disappeared somewhere, and we slowly entered the hallway. I was extremely surprised, but the mansion looked much better inside than outside, as if the exterior was just an illusion. Following our classmates' instructions, the three of us went up to the second floor and turned right into his room. Fresh white colors and new furniture pleasantly surprised me. The tension immediately subsided, and a feeling of relaxation appeared. Everyone wanted to start having fun and relaxing as soon as possible. Soon, Misha entered the room with 3 dark brown bottles and 2 large bags of chips. We greeted him with joyful shouts and began pouring the alcohol while turning on the music. Night fell unnoticed outside. Everyone was tired of dancing and scattered, glued to their phones. After an unknown amount of time scrolling, a loud click echoed and the power went out. Startled, the guys dropped their phones. I kept mine and turned on the flashlight to look around. Misha was gone. The open door to his bedroom suggested a kidnapping. I was terrified, anxiety surged, and my heart pounded. "Guys, what the hell? Where's Misha and why is the power out?" Predictably, Kolya panicked, and Vitya, like an older brother, tried to calm him down. "Hey, relax, it's just a prank. There are probably cameras everywhere, and the new kid is laughing somewhere." My friend started shining the light around as if trying to find proof of his words. "Guys, I don't think it's a prank. Guys," I said seriously, looking at them. "Something's wrong. Let's go downstairs. If no one's there, we'll get out of here." "Whatever. I'm over this party. Besides, the drinks are gone," Vitek said with a stupid grin, seemingly not realizing the shit we were in. Moving slowly, we called out for Misha, but only silence answered. The mansion seemed to have emptied and become completely foreign. Black walls surrounded us like shadows, and now I saw nightmarish silhouettes in every corner. We groped our way down the stairs and froze in horror. In the hallway near the front door stood something, a gaunt and very tall creature resembling a woman. The creature's long arms had huge fingers with sharp claws, and its eyes glowed in the dark like 2 lights, staring intently at us. The sight of this monster paralyzed my entire body. I mentally regretted 1,000 times that I had agreed to come to this damn house. Vitya was the first to break free, and with a trembling hand, he pointed the flashlight directly at the creature's face. Its eyes grew even larger, and you could even see the blood vessels. As soon as the light hit the monster, it roared and overturned a closet, blocking the exit to the street, after which it disappeared into the darkness of the corridor in jerky movements. Since going out into the street in the middle of the night, where there wasn't a single living soul, was tantamount to suicide, and a bloodthirsty something was running around on the first floor, I ordered the guys to run back upstairs. Soon, the 3 of us ran into some room that looked like a bedroom and locked the door behind us. Kolyan burst into a scream, although he continued to breathe heavily. "It looks like it ate Misha, and now it's coming for us. I don't want to." Vitya suddenly approached and slapped him on the back of the head. "If you scream, it will find us. That's all we need." The blow quickly brought Kolya to his senses, and he calmed down a little. "So what do we do, guys? Maybe call the cops or our parents, after all? We need to get out of here somehow," I said, looking at the boys. "Yeah, right. How are we going to call them if there's no signal?" Vitya showed the crossed-out bars in the corner of his smartphone. "If only there was electricity, at least the Wi-Fi would work. But now it's completely dead, like in the woods. Damn it." "Damn, you're right." I checked my phone and put it aside in frustration. "Then we can try to get outside and call for help. Maybe someone's hanging around nearby." "Are you kidding me?" My friend looked at me like I was an idiot. "It's 10 kilometers to the nearest town, if not more. We'll either get lost in the dark forest." "Well, at least I'm suggesting something. All you do is..." Suddenly, I heard a loud roar that instantly silenced me. At the same moment, heavy, approaching stomping came from the direction of the stairs, and we exchanged glances and immediately broke into a frantic run. Thoughts swirled in my head, my heart ached from the pace and fear, my legs burned, but we had to run without looking back because everyone wanted to live. I was leading and was the first to reach the third floor when I suddenly heard a blood-curdling scream behind me. I had to turn around, but I wish I hadn't. On the stairwell leading to the top floor, Kolya was lying. The demonic creature was sitting on top of him, tearing off pieces of flesh with its bare hands and stuffing them into itself. A huge pool of blood soaked the wooden floorboards. She was so engrossed in her feast that she forgot we existed, which played to our advantage. I remembered my first encounter with the hideous creature and decided to shine the flashlight directly in its face. As soon as the light hit the monster, it began to growl and quickly retreated into the shadows. Burning eyes never left me, filled with animalistic hatred. Soon the monster vanished, completely dissolving into the darkness of the house, but without wasting time, I grabbed the stunned Vitya by the scruff of his neck and dragged him deeper into the corridor. Once we were in relative safety, my friend stopped and sat down on the floor, exhausted. His face showed that he was terrified and on the verge of a nervous breakdown. "Dim, I don't know what to do. We need to get the hell out of here." He looked at me. "I don't want to die, honestly. I don't." "And Kolya? What are we going to tell his parents?" The guy covered his face with his hands and started crying again. "Knowing is half the battle," I said, ignoring my friend's pessimistic mood. "I guess it's Sveta who's scared. When I pointed the flashlight at it, it immediately screamed and started quickly retreating into the darkness. We need to find the fuse box and turn on the lights in the house urgently. Then we can make it until morning." "So, where do you think he is?" Vitya asked eagerly. "I'm guessing the basement. At least that's where it was in one computer game," I said sarcastically, then helped my friend up, and we went back into the hallway. We tiptoed to the ground floor to the hallway, where the closet still blocked the front door. On the floor were... In an instant, Vitya poked me in the ribs and pointed to an opening to the left of the stairs. I approached and shone the flashlight. We saw steps leading down into the darkness. There was nothing else to do. We had to go down. The basement was dark, terribly damp, and smelled of mold. Shining the light around, I almost screamed in surprise. Misha suddenly appeared in the light, alive and completely unharmed. "There you are. Were you hiding here the whole time? We've been looking everywhere for you," Vitya shouted, approaching the lost classmate. "Why are you yelling at me? I was with you in the room, and then everything went dark. I woke up here. I don't remember anything else," Misha replied, frowning. "Really? You're saying you didn't hear anything for several minutes while some monster was tearing him apart?" I squinted and began to carefully watch the new kid's movements. His slightly nervous twitching of his shoulders made me think. "Okay, we'll figure it out later. Step aside. I'll turn on the electricity." As soon as I approached the electrical panel, Misha abruptly blocked the switch and said completely emotionlessly, "It doesn't work. I already checked." His words sent shivers down my spine. A terrible guess came to mind, but I didn't dare voice it yet. "If you're telling the truth and the monster really exists, then we need to hide somewhere safe." There wasn't a trace of surprise in Misha's voice. His face didn't even change at the mention of the diabolical creature that could easily tear any of us apart. "You know what?" I noticed. "There's no fear in your eyes. You're clearly hiding something." "What is it?" I asked, looking at my classmate. He flinched involuntarily. We stood in complete silence for a few seconds until my companion forced a smile and said, "Guys, honestly, I think you're just a little drunk. It happens." I stopped listening to his nonsense as my attention was suddenly drawn to a strange clicking sound coming from the first floor. The source of the noise was rapidly approaching, and my eyes instantly filled with wild horror. "Vitya, run to the electrical panel." I didn't finish speaking when I heard a terrible crash and roar, and then felt a strong blow to the back of my head and fell to the ground. Good thing I didn't lose consciousness. I'm afraid to even imagine what would have happened to me then. Pretending to be unconscious, I watched a horrifying scene through slightly open eyes. My other best friend was being eaten alive by a hellish creature, making satisfied noises. Guts and many other organs flew in different directions. The monster devoured one arm completely. I tried with all my might to keep myself in control and lay motionless, waiting for the right moment I needed to survive. Suddenly, I heard Misha's confident footsteps to the right of me, heading towards the monster. My classmate, as if nothing had happened, approached the predatory creature closely and then hugged it. He started stroking Demon's head, kissing its snout, and murmuring, "Mommy dearest, eat heartily. I'll do anything for you. Thank you for coming back to me." The creature broke away from its feast, reaching for its son, embracing him, and pressing him to its body. Music! I decided to end this sickening display of affection, and abruptly getting up, as soon as I turned it on, all the lights in the basement crackled from the sudden surge of electricity and lit up simultaneously. The creature immediately burst into flames from the bright flash, and fire engulfed both embracing figures. The last thing I heard as I ran out of the basement was a disgusting grinding of bones and desperate screams of mother and son. In the end, I managed to escape this hell, but at what cost? Both of my best friends remained forever within the walls of that damned mansion, and I, from a lively, cheerful guy, the life of the party, turned into a withdrawn paranoid. But at least I managed to survive, and I'm grateful for that. It's been 5 years since then, but I still don't understand what led the guys there.